Alright, it's a bit windy out here. The car is ready to go. We're going to get it in the shop, just letting it cool down after our test drive. Today we are going to be doing a bunch of Perrin bolt-on parts on this thing to show you guys what they have to offer. Some really cool features. They have a really nice oil cooler kit, strut bar, alternator cover, some pulleys, anything Perrin wise that we can install on here. There's a couple overlapping parts that won't be getting installed, so I will probably be showing you on another WRX at some point, which we have their intercooler still because that did not fit with the IAG AOS I installed in the car. My mistake, I didn't see that they had sent us in this huge pile of parts somewhere in here. They sent us a full Perrin AOS kit, which obviously I'm sure fits with their intercooler. So like I said, you're probably going to see that get installed on another 22 WRX, which I have an idea of which one around me that will be willing to do that for you guys. So we'll see you there. But everything else you see here, we've been kind of going through and seeing what today is going to entail. And there's a lot of cool things. We got differential lockdown for the rear. We got alternator pulley kit here. Steering dampener lockdown, definitely a nice feature. Dipstick handle, you know, all the basics here. What was this one? Water pump pulley is that one that we were looking at there. Oil fill cap for it. So some of the Hot Boy stuff and some reliability stuff. End links for the rear, spherical bearings. This is that really nice oil cooler kit that we're going to be putting on. Super thick core. So I'm going to go ahead and get the car pulled in. Bumper's got to come back off. Chris is going to be helping me today. Also, you'll probably see a little bit of Craig. Craig is his brother. They do all our fabrication. So you guys are going to be seeing that today, and we'll get all these put on. Everything I can, and then everything I can't we'll keep here, and we'll show you another time. So let's get the car pulled in. Okay, everything is done underneath the car. We've got the spherical end links on. Those are actually a really nice piece there. So those guys are all the way on. This car's already going to go get an alignment afterwards anyways. Not that I think those are going to affect it, but for anything that we did do, rear diff lockdown is done. Kind of hard to see. Those are really straightforward. They do say to tap these in. Looks like Chris's is a little straighter than mine. Mine's a little crooked. But we did suck them in with the nuts. That was pretty straightforward, easy. These ones are really easy. Obviously, you just take this brace off, put your bushings on, put your brace back on, retorque everything down. Should help with some movement there. Moving up to the front, Craig got the steering lockdown down on, which you're not probably going to be able to see. That one was really straightforward, just clamps on the steering shaft there to be stiffer is my assumption. But that is it for the bottom of the car. Moving up to the top, everything's going to be pretty straightforward here. We got a radiator shroud, so I'm pretty excited to see how that fits on the car. We got the alternator pulley, dipstick handle, water pump pulley, battery tie down. We got pitch stop mount, and what is this one? Pulley cover. So we have that, and then we still have the oil cooler and a strut bar to put on. So we're gonna put the car down, get those pieces on. These are all pretty straightforward for install, so I'll throw all these guys on, show you guys that. That'll be probably the more in-depth install that I will walk you guys through for their oil cooler, because that one's gonna be a little bit more in-depth than obviously the bolt-on stuff. All right, so we're just finishing up a lot of the installs on it. Unfortunately, some pieces we were testing did not fit, one of those being the water pump pulley, so I gotta let them know that they need to bore the inside diameter of this out a little bit more, because we were testing this. So just the inside diameter here is a little bit larger on the 24 than the 20, so I'll let them know on that. So we're not gonna be using the water pump pulley. We did do, now I covered it up, the alternator pulley. Behind there, we also did their dipstick, so you can see it has a P on there. Looks really good. Unfortunately, I put the Perrin cover on it that covered that, so you can't tell. And then we got the oil cooler on. That was quite the job. They did want you to either A, run it in front of the core support here, or drill and go through the side. Rather than drilling that, we decided we ran the lines behind, and there's some foam on the inside there between the radiator and the frame, so that way it wouldn't cut the lines. Ran them out like they wanted up through here. Coming up top, you can see we got their new oil cooler that is thermostatic on. Clears everything, not touching anything. Looks really good. Pretty straightforward install, just a little bit time consuming. We got the Perrin oil cap on, as you guys saw. The cooler is here, mounted in some factory holes, which is actually really nice. And then Chris found out if you flip their bracket over for the hello horns, they fit. So good job, Chris.
Thanks.
So he's just wrapping that up right now, rewiring that, and then we put the bumper on this thing, and we are all finished up with all the parts that we can put on here. And then the spare ones, like I told you guys, we're gonna save for another project in the near future. I'm gonna reach out to one of our customers that's been wanting us to do some 22 WRX stuff, and that would be a perfect time for you guys to see that stuff get installed. But in the meantime, like I said, he's just wrapping up the horn install here, and then we'll get the bumper on, and we're all finished up with this project. Also, I did forget this. Nice little cooling plate here. I think it's more like a beauty panel, but looks really good and complete. I really like how well it fits along with the factory plastic piece. It actually makes it look really good. So that came out good. Now just to finish up by putting the bumper on. Alright, just bleeding the coolant system out, because obviously we did have to disconnect it there for the old oil cooler. And it's burning off anything that leaked down right now. So safe to bet, obviously, to bleed that, but everything turned out really good. Really happy of how clean the thing came out. I really like the ETS car type kit over here, where you can use your factory duct and the box. But yeah, everything's looking good. Alright, all finished up bleeding the coolant system. Car is now outside. Everything is completed 100%. I'm really happy of how this thing turned out. If you guys want to get yourself some of this Perrin dress up, be sure to get some down below in the description. It definitely adds on a real good touch on these cars. I know they have a lot of plastic, so replacing some of that plastic with this dress up stuff makes the engine bay look 10 times better. So again, guys, thank you to Perrin. They'll give us this opportunity to showcase this for you guys and to test a lot of the parts that they've been doing for this chassis. The oil cooler, I believe, is going to be a huge upgrade for this car. Only time is going to tell for seeing the results on that, but as far as everything else, I'm really excited. Also, be sure to get your guys' Vivid TI down below in the description. It probably won't be up by the time I put this video, but soon the kit for this car will be up on his website, so you guys can go ahead and dress up your engine bays as well. That's going to wrap it up, guys. Hopefully, if you enjoyed this video, I know I have enjoyed putting this car together. It's definitely gave me a different perspective on the newer chassis. You know, when they first released, I definitely was not the biggest fan of how they looked, how they performed, and everything about them. But as time goes on with anything, you tend to start liking it more and more, especially these cars are doing some extremely good results, especially being just a pump gas car to make the power it does is really impressive. So again, guys, thank you for watching, and that's going to wrap it up here.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you lemons, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane, living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. Life up in the fast lane, fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground.